What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another adventure here at the Outpost. In today's adventure, we're continuing to rock with our movie collection, and we are rolling on into the seas. And like all our other ones, let's just jump right into it. We have got a shitload of sea movies, and we don't want to make these friggin' hour-long videos like the last two. I'm going to try and push this as fast as possible. So let's just dive right in. Starting us off is the movie Cabaret. Haven't seen it. Definitely want to. We've got Cabin Fever. This is a pretty terrible Eli Roth horror movie. Not the biggest fan of that. Horror movie I am a big fan of, though, is The Cabin in the Woods. This is a wild movie. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely get yourself out there and check it out, because it is one wild ride. We've got The Cable Guy. This is a very underrated Jim Carrey comedy. A lot of people don't tend to like this one, but I am actually a big fan of it. I love the dark humor in it. It's very demented. Caddyshack. It's a classic. Who hasn't seen Caddyshack? Hey, you scratched my anchor. Cadillac Man is a pretty terrible comedy with Robin Williams and Tim Robbins. He at least carries it, but it's definitely a one-and-done movie. The Kane Mutiny. It's a classic, apparently. I had yet to see it. Definitely one I got to hop onto on my list, though, because it's Humphrey Bogart. Y'all know how much I love my Humphrey Bogart. Calendar Girls with the beautiful Helen Mirren. I haven't seen this movie, which is amazing that as much as I love Helen Mirren, I haven't seen a movie that revolves around her getting naked on a calendar. I don't know what's wrong with me. Campfire Tales. This is a neat little horror movie. Fun fact, portions of this movie were written and directed by my stepdad's brother. This is a pretty fun movie, too. It's them sitting around a campfire telling scary stories, and then it goes into like little vignettes and like short films of these scary stories. It's fun. It's a decent movie. One of the most wildest comedies, Cannonball Run. This is a movie that would never get made today. A whole portion of this movie revolves around these drivers making this cross-country like crazy drive, and all of them just get like wasted drunk for the drive. It is such a drunk driving movie. It is insane. It's hilarious. Young Jackie Chan in there, though. That was cool to see. Cape Fear. This is another movie I don't know if you can get away with today. There is one scene in particular in this movie that, knowing about how they shot it and how they actually went for it, is insanely creepy and icky and gross. And I don't know how they got away with it. It's wild, though. Other than that, it's a really good fucking movie. Robert De Niro is, like, really good in that movie. Got Capote. I was not a fan of this movie. It was very slow, kind of boring. I love Philip Seymour Hoffman. He was really good in it. Like, acting-wise, it's really good. It's just the story didn't really grab me. Captain Corelli's Mandolin. I like this movie more than I thought I was going to. I thought it was going to be like a really dumb Nick Cage movie, but it has its moments. A very hilarious Christian Bale doing a Greek accent in that movie, too, so big fan. Carlito's Way. This is a really solid gangster crime thriller movie from Brian De Palma, written by David Coeb. Man, the guy's a master. The First Cars, probably my least favorite franchise of the Pixar-made movies. This one, though, is fine. It's a fine movie. I do have the other two, but they will be coming later in our other formats. This is the only one that I still have on DVD. Casablanca. This is my favorite movie of all time. It is the best movie ever made, in my opinion. It is perfect. Watching. Casino Royale, Daniel Craig's first foray into James Bond. It's actually my favorite one of the ones that he's ever done. No Time to Die is coming out soon, so we'll see if that holds up true. This one does look like the best from the trailer-wise at giving Casino Royale a run for its money, but remains to be seen. Cassandra's Dream, made by one of my least favorite writer-directors, Woody Allen. Fuck you. This is alright. It's mostly thanks to the acting. You got some powerhouse actors in that movie. Cast a Giant Shadow, Kirk Douglas. I haven't seen it. Castaway. great Tom Hanks movie. It's just Wilson. It's just so good. Casual Sex. Haven't seen it. Cat in the Hat. This movie is fucking demented. It cracks me up that it's written by the three guys who wrote a large majority of Seinfeld and Curb Your Enthusiasm episodes, but they're also responsible for Euro Trip, so movie-wise, they're all over the place. Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. Haven't seen it. Catch and Release. Looks like a pretty silly rom-com. Haven't seen it. And one of my favorite Steven Spielberg movies, Catch Me If You Can. One of my favorite Leo movies. This movie is just so freaking good. Frank Abagnale Jr. This movie is amazing. It's so good. Catwoman. The less said about this movie, the better. I've got nothing nice to say, so I won't say anything at all. Cellular. This is a neat little action thriller. Definitely better than it had any right being. Definitely showed shades of how good Chris Evans was going to be in a few years from that movie. Celtic Pride is a silly little comedy. Dan Aykroyd and Daniel Stern kidnap a star basketball player. It's fine. Center Stage. My girlfriend loves this movie. I actually like this movie too. Definitely one of the better movies that she showed me. And it's got a lot of, it's good. It's a good drama movie. Peter Gallagher is in it. I think it was Zoe Saldana's first movie also. So if nothing else, I will give that movie 2 thumbs up for giving us Zoe Saldana. Central Station, never seen it. Chain Reaction. This is a really dumb action movie with Keanu Reeves, Morgan Freeman. Rachel Weisz is in it also. It's pretty stupid. It's entertaining. Like, it's definitely watchable. It's just not that great. The Chamber. Haven't seen it. The Change Up. This is actually a really funny comedy. I remember seeing it in theaters and really enjoying it. I haven't seen it since theaters, but I remember laughing my fucking ass off at this movie. The Changeling. Haven't seen it. Or just Changeling, I guess. Haven't seen it. And Changing Lanes. Haven't seen it. So you can see, I have yet to get through a lot of the C movies. We've got Charade, Cary Grant, Audrey Hepburn. Haven't seen it. Definitely want to, though, because Cary Grant, can't go wrong with fucking Cary Grant. Chariots of Fire. Haven't seen it. Definitely got to get around to it, though, as it's a Best Picture winner. I'm trying to see all the Best Picture winners that have been put out. Still got a ways to go, though, on that one. We've got Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Not a fan of this movie. Saw it once in theaters. Haven't watched it since. Charlie St. Cloud. Haven't seen it. Charlie Wilson's War. This is a solid movie. It's actually my least favorite Aaron Sorkin written movie, but it's definitely solid. You got Tom Hanks in there, and I'm always down for Tom Hanks. My favorite actor of all time. We've got Charlie's Angels and Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. The first one's fine. I couldn't tell you shit about the second one other than Shia LaBeouf was in it. Charlotte's Web. It's a cute little family movie. Can do worse than Charlotte's Web. And Chasing Amy, great Kevin Smith movie, back when Kevin Smith was making really good movies. This is probably his most serious one, I guess we could say, but it's really good. Ben Affleck, that guy, Jason Lee, couldn't think of his name for a second. It's a really good movie. We got Chasing Liberty. It's a fine rom-com, not terrible. I mean, it's definitely one of the better President's Daughter Goes on the Run movies. Cheaper by the dozen. It's fine. Oh boy. That made a lot of fucking noise. Woke up the whole neighborhood with that one. Chernobyl Diaries. Looks like a terrible horror movie. Haven't seen it. Chicago. Great fucking musical. Everyone in this movie just firing on all cylinders. I really enjoy this movie. Chicken Little. This is one of the better mid-2000s Disney movies that they were putting out. They were definitely floundering around this time with movies like Home on the Range and shit, but this is one of the better ones. And then Chicken Run. This movie's a fucking classic. This movie is hilarious. And then we got Children of Men. This is one of the best sci-fi movies ever put. This is one of my favorite movies ever put out. It's so Alfonso Cuarón made one hell of a masterpiece with this movie. It is so freaking good. Chill Factor, Cuba Gooding Jr. This is a really dumb action movie. Just bad. The China Syndrome. I actually just watched this as part of my A to Z challenge, so I will wait for that video to talk about my feelings on this one. Forget it, Jake. It's Chinatown. This is masterpiece. And I can say it's a masterpiece because it was made before Roman Polanski was a piece of shit. So I'll allow him that one. Chisholm. The title of that just sounds so wrong to me. Haven't seen it. Late John Wayne, though, so I can only imagine. Chocolat. Every time I see this movie, it just reminds me of I Love You, Man. Jason Segel's like, I finally watched Chocolat. It's delicious. It's delightful. This movie is delightful. It is a very good romantic movie. I like that movie a lot. And Choke. I remember seeing this movie. Couldn't tell you shit about what it's about. Maybe a rewatch time? Who knows? Chronicle. Haven't watched it. And then we've got the Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I remember when this came out in theaters, I went and saw it twice. I loved it. This is a really fun little adventure movie. You open this up, shows you the whole wardrobe and everything. This is a really fun movie. I like this movie a lot. It's a shame that they couldn't make the rest of them with that same love and care, because they probably could have made all the books if they did that well with that one. The second one is actually good too, Prince Caspian. I enjoy this one as well. It was really once they got to Voyage of the Dawn Treader, I think is what it was called, that they just fall right off the cliff. I don't even own that one because I hated that movie so much. We got the Cider House Rules. Haven't watched it. We've got Disney's original Cinderella. Unfortunately, due to some flood damage that I had way back in the day, this one got ruined, unfortunately, but I still hang on to it. This is a really good Disney movie. It's Disney. It's classic. That's all you need. You got Cinderella, man. I got this sweet collector's set. This also got kind of damaged from the flood. A couple of these C movies do, because they were all in a row. I fucking love this movie. It's one of my favorite Ron Howard movies. We've got Cinema Paradiso. Haven't watched it. I do want to see it because I hear it's really good. What's stopping me is the fact that it's 295 minutes. That's a long one. Citizen Kane. To me, perhaps one of the most overrated movies of all time. I appreciate it a lot for its place in film history and what it did for film at the time. And sure, when this movie probably first came out, and for like 10 or 12 to maybe even 20 years after it came out, sure, it probably was the best movie ever made. But there's no way you can tell me that this is the best movie ever made in present day. It's just, you're lying. You're lying. City Hall, it's alright. It's a solid little drama movie. City Slickers 2. These are fun little comedies. Billy Crystal especially, and Daniel Stern, really funny in these movies. Cleopatra. This is a movie I really want to watch, but once again, it's 248 minutes, so it's just like, fuck, man. You really gotta find the time to be able to just like devote 4.5 hours watching a movie. Clerks, this is the 10th anniversary edition. This is a great movie. It started it all for Kevin Smith. This is one of those just perfect, just like hang around movies. Really no plot, just people hanging around a convenience store, and it's fucking great. And then we got Clerks 2. Not nearly as good as the first Clerks, but I still enjoy this movie. I saw this one in theaters, and it cracked me up. Click. One of the better Adam Sandler movies. This was one of the first Adam Sandler movies I watched where, like, when it had the dramatic moments, I was like, yo, this motherfucker can definitely actually act. And he's just giving us crap for whatever reason. And then when he made Uncut Gems, I was so mad because I was like, this motherfucker could have been acting this entire time. The Client is a really good courtroom drama. I like this movie a lot. This is a really great 90s movie. You should check it out if you like courtroom dramas. which you should. Who doesn't like courtroom dramas? We got Cliffhanger. This is such a good action movie. Sylvester Stallone, phenomenal in this movie. John Lithgow as the villain, hams it the fuck up. This movie is incredible. We've got the Clint Eastwood collection. It comes with High Plains Drifter, Joe Kidd, and 2 Mules for Sister Sarah. I've only ever seen High Plains Drifter out of these, and I love that fucking movie. Still have to watch the other two. Closer is a great fucking movie. This is a dark drama. I like this movie a lot. It was so good. Clive Owen, Natalie Portman, Jude Law, just phenomenal powerhouse. I'm missing one other person. Who was the third person? Julia Roberts. How do you miss Julia Roberts? Cloud Atlas. Fucking love this movie. It's one of my favorite movies. I know this is a very divisive movie. I know a lot of people didn't like this movie, and that's cool. Not everybody has to like the same things. I happen to love the type of themes and story that it tells. Like, that's my bread and butter. So I really enjoyed this movie. Cloverfield. This is a fun movie. It's probably my favorite found footage movie, which isn't hard to beat because I don't really like found footage movies. I really don't like the shaky cam that it brings about. But this movie was very effective in the way. The scene in the subway when like they're using the light on the camera and you start seeing those like crab-like things coming at them. It's fucking tense as shit. Broken Lizard's Club Dread. This is a dumb comedy, but it cracks me the fuck up. I love this movie. You put your arms around me, Jenny. I can only assume that every other man on the island is dead. It's so fucking funny. Bill Paxton as Coconut Pete is a fucking trip in that movie. We got Clue, absolute fucking classic. This movie's so funny. If you haven't seen Clue by now, like, you're missing out. You gotta get out and check that one. And then Clueless, classic comedy. My girlfriend loves this movie. I like this movie a lot too. Paul Rudd, really funny in it. It's a solid movie. Coach Carter. I believe this movie gave us Channing Tatum, if I'm not mistaken. I've never actually seen it. Should get on that. Cobra. This is a really over-the-top, silly action movie. Sylvester Stallone, him and Arnold Schwarzenegger just ruled the 80s with movies like this. And it's easy to see why. It's just fun as shit. Cocktail. People hate this movie. It cracks me up that many people shit on this movie, but I have a soft spot for it. It's entertaining as shit to me. Cocoon. This is a neat movie. This is a very different movie. Definitely up there for me with Ron Howard movies. I like this movie a lot as a science fiction movie that could have been dark horror science fiction, but the way he scales it back and just keeps it more inspiring and insightful, it definitely works. I liked it a lot. Cold Creek Manor. This is a pretty terrible thriller movie. Not great. I mean, Dennis Quaid and Sharon Stone do what they can, but it's not much. Cold Light of Day. Haven't seen it. Picked it up because Henry Cavill. We'll get there. Cold Mountain. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. It is such a good fucking war movie. Nicole Kidman and Renee Zellweger especially are fucking phenomenal in it. This movie is just amazing. I fucking love it. Collateral Damage. This is a fine action movie from Schwarzenegger. Definitely towards the tail end. It's definitely at the bottom of his filmography. But there's still some good to be mined out of it. I enjoyed it for what it was. The Color of Money. This is a really good fucking drama movie. Scorsese directed the sequel to The Hustler. Tom Cruise especially. He was just a powerhouse in the 90s. We've got The Color Purple. One of the few Steven Spielberg movies I've yet to see. I need to watch this. Coma. Michael Douglas. I think this was written and directed by Michael Crichton, the writer. One of the few movies that he directed. I've yet to see it. We've got The Comebacks. This was fucking terrible, and not in a good way. It was movies like this that gave spoof movies that effectively killed them. That movie's just bad. Commando. This is fucking the best 80s movie ever. Has the best one-liners ever. Schwarzenegger is a goddamn fucking, just a masterpiece in this movie. Hey Sully, remember when I said I'd kill you last? Yeah, that's right, Matrix. You did. I lied. It's just so good. Con Air, it's one of the best 90s action movies. Put the bunny back in the box. Just silly as shit. And I fucking love it. Conan, The Complete Quest. This includes Conan the Barbarian and Conan the Destroyer. Both fucking phenomenal movies. Obviously, the first one is just straight incredible, and the second one's more silly, but I enjoy the second one too, just because it gets fucking weird. They're just great Schwarzenegger movies. Confessions of a Shopaholic, never seen it. Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen, it's a fine little family movie from Lindsay Lohan. Congo, this is not great. And it's a shame because I love the Michael Crichton book, but this movie was definitely another in a long line of Michael Crichton book turned movies that just didn't hit the mark. Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, haven't seen it. Conspiracy Theory, this is a really solid thriller with Mel Gibson, Julia Roberts. I really enjoyed this movie. This is a 90s movies just pushed out so many good detective thrillers and then just regular crime thrillers. It's unreal the plethora of good movies that are around that time that are all centered in that genre. And I own a large majority of them. We've got The Constant Gardener. Never seen it. We've got Constantine. Saw this once in theaters. It was okay. Haven't seen it since, so I really couldn't tell you much about it, other than Keanu Reeves kicks ass in it. Contact. I fucking love this movie. This is such a good science fiction movie, based on one of Carl Sagan's books. That dude is a fucking genius, just an absolute fucking genius. I love his books. I love everything about that man's brain and all that. And to see this movie come to fruition, which is very much based on his thoughts of humanity and space travel and aliens and all that shit, it's fucking phenomenal. The Contender. This is a solid movie. I think it's like a government conspiracy movie. I don't know. I saw it once. I see so much, it's hard to remember everything. I know I've seen it. I know I enjoyed it. You'll enjoy it too. The Conversation. This is a fun, good 70s movie. Gene Hackman, really good in it. Francis Ford Coppola directed, who did The Godfather. He knocks this one out of the park. And then we've got Conviction. Never seen it. We've got Cool Hand Luke. I've never seen it. This is actually a big one that's fallen through the cracks for me too, because that's apparently a really famous and big movie. So gotta check that one out soon. Cool Runnings, great movie, man. Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. Come on, boys, it's bobsled time. I butchered that, but that's such a fun movie. I love that movie. That's a great just heartwarming family movie. You can just put on in the background while you're doing shit and just enjoy it. Copland. It's a great fucking movie. Written and directed by James Mangold, who is one of the best writer-directors around today. He made one of my favorite movies of the last 10 years, Ford v Ferrari. This movie is a great crime thriller. The 90s, man. Just popping out great crime thrillers. Cop Out. Wasn't a fan. Only saw it once. Another amazing 90s crime thriller, Copycat. Fucking this movie's so good. It's a crime thriller and a detective thriller. I know those go hand in hand, but freaking Sigourney Weaver and Holly Hunter are phenomenal in this movie. It's one you absolutely should see if you haven't. Corky Romano. Hey guys, want some cookies? This movie's dumb as shit, but it cracks me up. This movie's so fun. Come here, you big gay bastard. It's just so many silly lines in that movie. Corpse Bride. This movie's fine. The Corruptor. I definitely was expecting much better things from this movie. It's okay. It's not the worst, not the best. Chow Yun-fat is great in it. Mark Wahlberg, not so much. The Cotton Club. This is a great fucking movie. I like this movie a lot. Freaking Richard Gere, Diane Lane, Bob Hoskins. I think Nicolas Cage is in this too at one point. This is a really good gangster movie. The Counselor, never seen it. The Count of Monte Cristo. This movie is so much fun. I fucking love this movie. Jim Caviezel and Guy Pearce are phenomenal in this movie. This is the movie that I saw when I was young that like made me all aboard the Guy Pearce bandwagon. This and LA Confidential. I was like, that guy, fucking all about that guy. We got Country Strong. Never seen it. Got Couples Retreat. It's a fine comedy. Not the best, not the worst. Just one I've seen. Courage Under Fire. This freaking really good movie. Edward Zwick, dude knows his shit. Denzel, Meg Ryan are great in it. Matt Damon especially, really good young turn from Matt Damon in this movie. It's definitely, when you watch movies like this, well, you see Matt Damon became as big as he did because he puts in a fucking great performance with the little time that he has in the movie. Coyote Ugly. This is a fun movie. Definitely enjoyable. We've got The Cradle Will Rock. Never seen it. Huge fucking cast, though. We've got Crank. This is a fucking just wild movie. It's a great turn your brain off and just enjoy movie because it's just nonsense. Crash. Definitely did not deserve Best Picture. This is one of the weirder Best Picture wins in our time. Having said that, though, I still don't think it's a bad. I think it's a really good movie. I really enjoy it. There's a lot of really good stuff in it. Just surprising that it won Best Picture. The Crazies. This is the remake. I think there's an original, right? I think there's. I don't know. It doesn't say it on the back, but I'm pretty sure this is a remake. I only saw it once in theaters, but I remember liking it a lot. I remember it being like pretty demented at times. I remember it being a pretty decent movie. We got Crazy Heart. Haven't seen it. Definitely want to, though, because I'm pretty sure it's what Jeff Bridges won his Academy Award for. The Crew. This is a really dumb heist movie. We got Crimson Tide. This movie is a fucking blast, man. Tony Scott. Rest in peace, man. That dude knew how to bring you just really good action movies. And this is one of them. We got Crocodile Dundee, Crocodile Dundee 2, and Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles. Only the first one is one that's like actually good. The other two are just like pretty silly. But they're all right. They're good movies. Crossroads, Britney Spears. This is fine. My girlfriend loves this movie. I am indifferent towards it. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I fucking love this movie. It is phenomenal. I need to get it in 4K because I see that it does have a 4K one because I can only imagine how fucking good this will look in 4K. Great martial arts in this movie. Michelle Yeoh, Chow Yun-fat. It's just a fucking great movie. The Crucible. Because it is my name! Because I cannot have another! This movie's amazing. Play is amazing. Everything about The Crucible is fucking phenomenal. It's one of the few things they made us read in school that I was always all about. I was like, this is the shit. I fucking love this. Cry Freedom. Haven't seen it. Early Denzel, though. Looks really good. The Crying Game. I hear this movie is really fucked up. Haven't seen it, though. Definitely want to, though, because everyone always says there's like a twist in it that's like very wild. We've got The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. This is a really good fucking movie. David Fincher directs the shit out of this. Brad Pitt and Cate Blanchett especially are just phenomenal in it. I love this movie. I remember seeing it in theaters and just being blown away. I actually went on a date with a girl to see it, and she couldn't give two shits about the movie, and I was just floored. But I couldn't really enjoy it because she wasn't enjoying it, so she was like diverting attention away from me on the movie to her. So I just remember afterwards when I dropped her off, I was like, never seen that girl again. And then I went and watched and saw the movie again on my own just so that I could really fucking simmer into it and enjoy it. And it was worth it. So great. And last in the C list is Cutthroat Island, the movie that ruined Pirates movies until Pirates of the Caribbean. And I don't know why, because this movie is really entertaining. I enjoyed the shit out of this movie. It's a lot of fun. Gina Davis is really good. I don't know. I don't know where the fault lies or what happens when movies are made at certain times that make them bomb or not live up to their expectations. But being so far removed from its release date, from its being a bomb, from all the bad press at it, I enjoyed this movie a lot. And now on to the 4Ks, Steelbooks, and Blu-rays. First we'll knock the box set out of the way. I've got the Critters collection, comes with Critters 1 through 4. I know I've seen 1, 2, and 3 at the very least. I remember watching them as kids. Couldn't tell you anything about them. So, definitely going to have to rewatch those again. I'm waiting until like it hits Halloween time. So starting in October, I'm just going to watch like a shitload of horror movies. And those will be one of them that I'll revisit. So kicking off the Blu-ray pile, we got Call Me By Your Name. This is a really good fucking movie. Very good drama. Very well acted. The subject matter can be very graphic at times. The peach scene especially, very over the top. But I really enjoyed this movie. The Call of the Wild. It's better than I expected to be a movie. Harrison Ford, really good in it. The biggest downside to it for me is just the CGI dog. It just really takes you out of the movie at times, but I get why they did it. We've got Captain America, the First Avenger. Goddamn you, Best Buy. We've got Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and Captain America, Civil War. Probably the best trilogy of the Marvel movies that they've done, of the characters that have gotten a trilogy. All three of these movies are great, and each one gets better than the last. Winter Soldier and Civil War especially are just like freaking such good superhero movies. We got Captain Marvel. It's okay. We got Captain Phillips. Look at me. Look at me. I'm the captain now. This is a great fucking movie. Just for the end of this movie, when Tom Hanks gets brought to safety and you just see him break down and hyperventilate when he's being looked at by the nurse. Fucking the best actor of our generation, of any generation. He might be the best actor of all time. Because he's Tom fucking Hanks. We got Cars 3. I know what you're thinking. Where the fuck is Cars 2? We saw the first one, now here's the third one. Don't worry. It's coming. This is actually my favorite of the Cars movies. This movie is actually like a decent movie. I enjoyed this one a lot. Cats. That's right. I got it. This movie is a trip. I remember seeing it in theaters, being high as a kite, and I still was like, this is insane. This is one of... If they had advertised this movie as a comedy, it would have done gangbusters, because this is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen in my life. It is out of control wild. Then we have Central Intelligence. It's a fine comedy. They definitely worked better together in Jumanji, but this movie has its moments. We got Chappie. I actually don't hate this movie. I know a lot of people give this movie a bad rap, but I think it's solid. It's a solid sci-fi movie. Like, not the best, not the worst. Just one you've seen. Chips is a really dumb fucking movie, but it cracked me up when I saw it. I laugh at anything. I love all dumb comedies. The dumber the better, in my taste. Christmas Vacation. It's a fucking classic. Like, who doesn't like Christmas Vacation? You've got Christopher Robin. This is an adorable movie. Ewan McGregor just carries the shit out of this. It's a lot of fun. You got the live-action Cinderella. One of the better live-action Disney movies that they've actually put out. This one, it's solid. City Heat. This is a really silly Clint Eastwood, Burt Reynolds gangster movie. It has its moments, but it's pretty lackluster. I was expecting a bit more out of it. The original Clash of the Titans. I fucking love this movie. This movie is phenomenal. The stop motion in it and the special effects for it, just so freaking good. We got Clear and Present Danger. This is a great Jack Ryan movie. Harrison Ford was fucking phenomenal as Jack Ryan. I'm very surprised that they didn't make more of them, that they only ever got 2 out of them. But those 2 were a hell of a 2. We got Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs and Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2. Both of these movies are really good. I actually like the second one better just because the island food puns are just so out of control, silly, and hilarious that I was dying laughing watching that movie. Coco. This is a great fucking Pixar movie. Pixar, like, they just know what they're doing. And that's a great one. Collateral Beauty. I actually ended up liking this movie more than I thought I would. Like the trailer made it look really over the top and silly and almost like too heartfelt. Like you could tell they were manipulating, pulling the strings. But the movie is actually like very well done and actually really good. I enjoyed this movie a lot. Color Out of Space, haven't seen it. The Commuter. This is a solid little action movie from Liam Neeson. It's got a solid supporting cast. I'm pretty sure my girl Vera Farmiga is in this. Oof, I fucking love her. That's a solid action movie. And then speaking of my girl Vera, we got The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2. Some of the best horror that's been released in the last like 20 years. This one's actually my favorite horror movie of all time. I fucking love this movie. It is so freaking good. This one also really good. I just think it's a little bloated. It's a little too long. Like the first one is a perfect 112 minutes, and then the second one is somehow 134. So it's just like somewhere in the editing room they had to work on the second one. And then we've got Contagion, the movie that all of us have been living for the last 2 years. This movie is so fucking good. It's such a good, tense, yet realistic portrayal of just the horrific nightmare of what like a pandemic can do to us. It's so freaking good. We got Contraband, never seen it. We've got Coogan's Bluff, never seen it. We've got The Courier. This is a really good spy thriller. I like this movie a lot. Came out back in March of this year. It was definitely a good movie to get back into the theaters and watch again. I had a lot of fun with this movie. Cowboys and Aliens. This movie is actually pretty good. I remember when I saw it the first time in theaters, I wasn't the biggest fan. I was like, it's trying to do too much. Like it's wearing a hat within a hat. But rewatching it just recently, it actually works pretty well, and the way they balance both the Western aspects with the sci-fi aspects actually works better than really you could ever hope for. This movie is a lot of fun, and Daniel Craig and Harrison Ford, like come on, it's a no-brainer. Crazy Rich Asians, fucking love this movie. This is such a good romantic comedy. Thank you, Crazy Rich Asians, for giving us Henry Golding. Dude's fucking powerhouse. That man, he's gonna have a good career ahead of him. He's likable, charming, everything you want in a leading man. And Constance Wu also really fucking good in this movie. She is also between when she did this and then Hustlers, which is fucking put her in everything. Crazy Stupid Love, my favorite romantic comedy ever made. This movie is just so fucking good. Who are you? David Lindhagen. David Lindhagen. It's just so fucking good. Everyone in this movie is phenomenal. Crimson Peak. This is a really good little horror movie. I like this movie a lot, but that's to be expected. It's Guillermo del Toro. Man knows what I like. We've got the Croods of New Age. I don't own the first Croods movie because I watched it when it was on Netflix, and it was okay. I saw this one in theaters when it came out just because I needed something to pass the time and I wanted to see it, and I actually thought this movie was super funny. Yes, I was high, but that should not matter, all right? Funny is funny. And then last in the Blu-ray file is Cyrus. Never seen it. We've got Casino. This is a really good fucking crime movie. Martin Scorsese, he knows what he's doing with gangster movies. Not nearly reaches the height of Goodfellas, but it's pretty close. This movie is really freaking good. We've got Cold Pursuit. This is a really good black comedy. I was not expecting this movie to be as good as it was going to be, and it ended up being like really good. This is probably like the last good Liam Neeson movie he's put out recently, because it certainly wasn't The Ice Road. Got Collateral. This is fucking phenomenal. This is my favorite Michael Mann movie. Probably the last good Michael Mann movie. Tom Cruise as a villain. Yes, man, he's so good. Give us more of that. I want more villain Tom Cruise because he's fucking great. And Jamie Foxx is good with what he has to play. Like, he's got to play the straight man to letting Tom Cruise go wild, but he carries. He more than makes his own. It's a great fucking movie. We've got The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. This movie's fine. Definitely doesn't reach the heights of the first two, but I could watch Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga do this shit all day. So if you're going to make a fourth one, I'm here for it. And then the last of this 4K pile is Creed. Great fucking movie. I actually like the Creed movie, with the exception, the first Rocky movie is the best out of all of these. But then I think I like Creed 1 and 2 more than I like the Rocky sequels. Like, these movies are just really fucking well done. You've been asking where it's been, and here it is. Cars 2, The Steelbook. My least favorite Pixar movie, by a fucking New York mile. We've got Chaos Walking. Look at that. We got Daisy Ridley there. We got Tom whatever his name, Holland back there. This is fine. Not the worst, not the best. This is a solid little sci-fi movie. We've got the remake of Clash of the Titans. I'm not a fan of this one. I actually like Wrath of the Titans better than this one, as far as these two go. Because at least Wrath knew what it was trying to be, and it could just do like its own silly ass story. Whereas I didn't like watching them try and like redo the original Clash with really bad special effects. We got Close Encounters of the Third Kind. This is a great little science fiction movie. It's probably one of the few Steven Spielberg written science fiction movies. This movie is really great. Fucking classic. Coming to America. Fucking love this movie. It's just the King of Zamunda, baby. He is so great. Before we had Wakanda, there was Zamunda. And Eddie Murphy is the fucking man in it. And then last in our pile, last in the collection of C, it's Creed 2, baby. It's a great little movie. And that's the C's. Hell of a collection, man. A lot of good movies in C's. Definitely probably the most movies I've yet to see. I definitely got to start digging into the C's and get into a lot of that good stuff. But we're getting there. It's tough. Tomorrow's always a new day for movies. But until next time, when we rock those D's, I have been TJ, you have been you. And until next time, adventure.